There is a death that occurs while you are still breathing. It doesn't come violently, it doesn't come suddenly. It arrives slowly, disguised as progress, wrapped in promises of security and social validation. You will wake up at 25 with the same mental structure you will have at 65. The job that was offered to you as a tool of liberation has become the prison itself. And even worse, you have learned to love your chains. The question that should burn your conscience is not how much you earn or what position you hold, but whether there is still someone inside that tired body who recognizes themselves as alive. At this moment, millions are sedated by routines. Are you one of them? Modernity has built its greatest deception on a simple promise. You are free to choose. Free to choose your career, your company, your professional path. This freedom of choice works as perfect anesthesia because it creates the illusion of agency where there is no true liberation. The system does not enslave you directly. It offers you options within a pre-established perimeter that it itself built. You can choose between prison A or prison B, but the structure that imprisons you remains untouched. Historical slavery had a defined characteristic. The slave knew he was a slave. There was clarity in domination. The collar was visible, metallic, inescapable. You could hate it openly. But modern slavery is too sophisticated for chains. It presents itself as opportunity. The system offers education so that you learn to value your own submission. It offers social mobility so that you believe you are climbing while only changing steps within the same vertical structure that shrouds you. When someone tells you that you are free to choose your job, what is really happening is a transfer of responsibility. Society removes from itself the guilt of exploitation and places it on your shoulders. If you suffer in the career you chose, the fault is yours. If the job destroys you, it is because you did not know how to manage better. This is the genius of the system. It not only dominates you, but convinces you that the domination is your fault. The promised economic freedom is a specter. It only exists as long as you don't truly try to leave the system. Try refusing work, and you will see how this freedom will evaporate instantly. It will be replaced by social pressure, by the need for survival, by the guilt of not contributing. The invisible collar will then appear in all its manifestation. No health insurance, no housing, no access to the basic resources that society has turned into commodities. The freedom that was promised to you reveals itself as parole, revocable as soon as you question its foundations. The true constraint of modern work does not reside in the amount of hours you offer, but in the amount of yourself that disappears to offer them. It is not only your time that is consumed, it is your ability to think differently, to imagine alternatives, to exist outside the context that defines you as productive. The illusion of economic freedom works because you believed that simply having options was synonymous with being free. But freedom is not variety of prisons. It is absence of prison. And as long as you depend on an external structure for your material survival, this absence does not exist. Every civilization needs a religion. Not necessarily a religion of divinities and explicit rituals, but a structure of values that organizes life, that gives meaning to submission, that transforms obedience into virtue. The religion of past civilizations was clear: to serve God or the gods. The religion of contemporary civilization is equally clear, but disguised as pragmatism: to serve productivity. And like every true religion, it has its martyrs, its prophets, its inviolable dogmas. The cult of productivity has established a simple and absolute morality. Your value as a human being is directly proportional to your ability to generate quantifiable results. You are not evaluated by your depth, your capacity for reflection, your real contribution to the lives of other people. You are reduced to numbers, to the amount of tasks completed, to the amount of clients served, to the amount of hours worked, to the amount of goals achieved. Your humanity has become metric. Under the regime of this religion, rest is sin. Tiredness is moral weakness. Contemplation is a luxury for those who don't work. Pause to think. That's lack of focus. Take a day to recover. That demonstrates lack of commitment. The system not only demands that you work, it demands that you celebrate work, that you internalize it as synonymous with personal value. Whoever stops is seen as useless. Whoever questions the structure is seen as lazy. Whoever rests is labeled as a failure. The genius of this religion is that it doesn't need a centralized institution to impose itself. You yourself have become your own priest, your own executioner. You monitor your productivity, fight against your own tiredness, blame yourself for not doing enough. External repression has transformed into internal repression. The system no longer needs explicit surveillance. You watch yourself, punish yourself, motivate yourself to produce more. The prophets of this religion constantly emerge. Experts in personal optimization, gurus of maximum performance, consultants of efficiency. They all sell the same reformulated message. You are still not producing enough. There is always more optimization possible, more hours to be taken advantage of, more results to be achieved. This religion never offers true rest, because rest is death to its foundations. It only offers quick recharge so that you return to work even more productive. As long as you believe that your productivity is an expression of your value, you never question the structure that demands this productivity. You blame yourself for tiredness instead of questioning a system that exhausts you. You seek to improve your time management instead of questioning why all your available time must be managed for production. You have internalized the values of the system so deeply that now you defend it as if it were your own philosophy. This is the complete victory of any system of domination, when the dominated passionately defends the structure that oppresses them. The promise of success is the perfect bait because it exploits the legitimate longing for meaning and recognition. The human being, by its nature, desires to leave a mark, desires to be recognized, desires to transcend insignificance. But the system has captured this legitimate longing and completely redefined it. Success has ceased to be synonymous with personal fulfillment and has become exclusively synonymous with material accumulation, social status, and external validation. The success that the system offers is always a ladder that never ends. When you reach one level, you immediately realize that there is another above. When you conquer a house, you realize that you could have a better one. When you reach a position, you see another higher one. When you get an amount of money, you realize that others have more. The system has created an infinite hierarchy specifically to prevent you from reaching rest. Rest is death to your motivation, and therefore death to the structure. He who loves life will never truly live it, said a 19th century philosopher. And this truth remains. The obsessive pursuer of success will never truly enjoy it. He is always anxious about the next goal. He is always comparing himself with those who have achieved more. He is always insecure about what he has conquered because he knows that it is temporary in a structure where the hierarchy never ceases. His success is never enough because the system was built so that it never would be. The control tool of success works because the system has understood a profound truth. You will control yourself much more rigorously than any external authority could do. If you believe that success is the key to happiness, then you will put yourself in a voluntary prison much more severe than any imposed prison. You will sacrifice relationships, health, present joy, for the promise of future success that never genuinely arrives. Personal success, when defined by the system, is always servitude disguised as liberation. You believe you are climbing in life when you are only deepening involuntary servitude. Each promotion makes you more dependent on the structure that promotes you. Each salary increase ties you more deeply to the commitments that this increase generated. You have built a life that depends completely on the continuity of the system that dominates you. Now it is impossible to leave. Not because they don't allow it, but because you cannot allow yourself to abandon the success you built with so much sacrifice. The system understood what every person in power has always known. It is easier to dominate someone who wants something than someone who wants nothing. Therefore, it created infinite desires. It created a hierarchy that is never complete. It created a definition of success that by its own nature is unattainable permanently, and you, pursuing this spectre, remain docile, productive, and controllable. There is a profound reason why the incessant routine is maintained. It is not merely an economic consequence or an inefficiency of the system. It is deliberate design. The system has understood something that philosophers already knew. A tired person does not think. An exhausted person does not question. A person too busy does not realize that they are empty. When you are working 8 hours a day, commuting another 2 hours, answering work messages at home, trying to keep your relationship working, feeding your body, we live inside routines so tight that we forget to ask why we exist. Sleep becomes minimal, energy fades, and thought disappears. You believe you're progressing, but you're just maintaining the illusion of motion. The routine is a prison that smiles. It gives you comfort while stealing your freedom. The system keeps you busy to keep you quiet. Real work is stretched, repeated, and complicated so that you never stop to think. When you finally pause, you meet the question you've been avoiding: who are you without all this? And most people can't answer, because the structure has replaced their soul. Modern slavery doesn't use chains. It uses meaning. It tells you to love your job, not because it's freedom, but because it keeps you obedient. You're not forced to work. You're convinced that working endlessly is passion. This is emotional capitalism, where exploitation hides behind purpose and care. Companies now sell belonging instead of salaries. They call their workers family and make loyalty look like gratitude. If you question it, you're ungrateful. If you resist, you're the problem. So you smile while you surrender. You trade your youth for promises of comfort that never truly come. You buy a house you barely live in, earn money you're too tired to spend. You reach the end of your career only to realize your best years were consumed maintaining the system. You lived, but you never truly existed. And when you finally stop, you find nothing inside but exhaustion and silence. The system never stole your life in one blow. It drained it slowly, day by day. It offered comfort instead of freedom, distraction instead of meaning. You didn't choose slavery, but you learned to call it success. Ask yourself, what price do you pay each time you open your computer to work? How much of your time, your youth, your imagination is being traded away quietly? If you feel the truth in these words, whisper to yourself, I want to recover my time.